What's up, idols? It's CC Lesson 3. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm back with my microphone and I'm back with part 2 to this video. I am so sorry. But yeah, about that day when I filmed part 1, I had just got to Amsterdam and I spent the day wandering and traveling, and it was just a long day. The video you guys saw was only like 13 minutes, but I was actually filming for like 20, and I realized I was mixing up facts and confusing the story and stuttering a lot. And I'm like, yeah, so then Coachella, fuck Chuseok, like my mind was just all over the place. I'm sorry. So go check out part 1 if you haven't yet, because this is the part 2 to that video. And if you guys have stories you want me to tell on my channel, please let me know. I am all ears. We love sharing the tea. We love chatting, especially about dating. Stuff like this is wild. So you can email me at cclesson3@yahoo.com, and you can be anonymous if you want. So far I'm about 3 for 3 with girls like, yeah, you can tell this story, or yeah, I want you to tell this story, but I don't want people to know who I am. And it's probably because, you know, there's a little bit of embarrassment, but hindsight is always 20/20. Of course, now we can always look back and be like, why did I do that? Why did I accept that? Why was I okay with that? So no shame. Everybody here has been very supportive, especially in the comments, like, oh my God, I can't believe she went through that. Stay strong, girl. You know, we got a good camaraderie going on here. Yeah, so my ring light, I think it's just done. Luckily, it's still daytime and I have natural light, so we're gonna do this in a different angle setup. Anyway, back to the story. Yes. Jasmine got invited to Chuseok and she's honored, you know, to be included, but at the same time she's like, yo, I don't want to go through this awkwardness and weirdness again so soon, because it's only a week between now and Chuseok. She's actually kind of hoping to have like a private little holiday with her and her boyfriend, because Chuseok is one of the few Korean holidays where you get like several days off of work and off of school. She was hoping that they could take a little trip somewhere, just the two of them.
Just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
So the next thing that happens, while the mom is still awkwardly trying to have dinner with Jasmine, the boyfriend goes to find the granddad and talk to the granddad, like, what the fuck was that about this monkey comment? Like, what does she estimates this probably was about 10 minutes that he was gone talking to the grandfather. One thing Jasmine said was going through her mind at this point was, because, you know, her boyfriend did say that he told them that she was black, but the way they were acting didn't match that. So part of her wanted to ask the mom, like, I'm just, you know, curious, did you know that I was a foreigner? She kept saying how she really just wanted to know from her mom directly how she felt about her son being with a foreigner. And then she said she wanted his mom to know that she just really loved her son and wished and hoped that that would be enough. Jasmine summons the courage and she decides to ask the mom, is it okay for me to be with your son? Just flat out ask her. So the mom says that she heard so much about Jasmine that she could tell in her son's tone that he was happy, he had found happiness, he was with someone that he really cared about, and that made her happy and excited for him. And she said that she thinks with time, things will get easier welcoming her to the family, with her being a foreigner and of color. So she didn't really know how to take that. Like, she didn't know if she was saying like, I accept you but the rest might not, or if she was saying we all need to adjust and wait this out before we can fully accept you. And believe it or not, the mom actually said she does prefer her son to be with a Korean woman. Like, she flat out said that to Jasmine's face. She said she was a little uncomfortable bringing someone into the family who was a foreigner and who was of color, but she also said she was at least happy that she was American, for whatever value that's worth. America. Like, what do you say if you're talking to someone and they say they kind of accept you but they don't, but they think through time they will, but at least you're American? It's like, so Jasmine just says, you know, I wish that love and happiness was enough for this to work. And then the mom's like, yeah, I wish it was that simple too. Like, she's not the one making this more complicated than it needs to be. Saying you prefer your son to be with someone Korean, you're making this harder for everybody. So yeah, now the boyfriend comes back and he's pissed, he's fuming, he's ready to go. He says, Jasmine, come on, get your coat, we're leaving. And Jasmine's like what, like, what's going on? Like, what are you talking about? And the mom is also confused. She stands up, she's like, what happened? Why are you guys leaving? At least take a plate with you. Like, she doesn't know what's going on. Take somebody's side dishes. So as they're leaving and packing up their belongings, the boyfriend says, Mom, I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm gonna come to Chuseok this year, maybe next year. Jasmine looks at him like, what happened? What did I miss? Fumbling with her stuff, and then she's like, hey, oh, I'm sorry, I don't know what's going on, but it was really nice to meet you. And she gets out the door, gets in the car with her boyfriend, and they drive. So then they're in the car, and like I said, they're going back up to Seoul from Jeollanam, so it's a few hours drive. She said it was, you know, a bit of an awkward silence for like the first 5 minutes, and they're kind of just sitting there like, She could tell that he was angry, he was upset, and she didn't know what to say. She didn't know what was said or what happened. So then they both spoke at the same time, where she goes, "What happened?" He goes, "I'm sorry." And they said that at the same time. So then he explains what happened with his grandfather. So the grandfather says, "Why would you bring that to this house? Why can't you find a nice Korean girl? This is why you shouldn't have studied abroad. I knew this was a bad idea. Think of your kids. They won't look normal. They'll be bullied." Then the grandfather said, "Your mom feels the same way I do. We talked about this. She's just better at faking it than I am. Next time you come home, don't bring her." So naturally, hearing this, Jasmine starts to cry. She's in the car and she's crying like, oh my God, what? Because she just had a decent conversation with his mom. Awkward though it was, she felt like the mom was making an effort, handing her food, trying to be nice to her, trying to get to know her, asking her questions. And now she's like, was that a lie? Because the grandfather did just say that she's better at faking it than he was. So then he pulls over to console her because like she's upset, she's crying, and she's just like, oh my God, like what? And he feels so bad. He's so sorry that he put her in a situation, because he was like, look, I know you're here without your family, and I really wanted my family to be your family. I truly did not expect them to act like this. I thought they were better than this. He felt sorry and embarrassed that his family ended up being those racist people that they talked about hating so much. He did say that he can't see his mom sharing those harsh views like his grandfather, but who knows, because at the same time, he didn't expect them to act like this at all, period. So nobody knows what to believe at this point. He said he was really sorry they had to leave so suddenly, but he really just wanted to get her out of that situation. Because while he's talking with his grandfather, he has no idea what his mom is talking with his girlfriend about, especially given what his grandfather just told him. He's like, oh my God, my mom is probably down there making this girl cry, making her feel unwanted and hated, and she's probably gonna want to break up with me. So while they're in the car and he's explaining everything, his mom called like a few times. And after like the fourth time, Jasmine said, you should just pick up the phone. It could be an emergency. We don't know what's going on. So when they finally decide, okay, whatever, he picks up the call and it's like Bluetooth. So like it's in the car. Everybody in the car can hear. Jasmine stays quiet. She's like trying to like stifle her sobbing and her crying. And the mom doesn't know she's on speaker, so she's apologizing to her son. Oh, I did. Like, come back. I'm sorry. It's gonna be okay. What happened? Like, what did he say? Because she says she talked to the grandfather, but she doesn't know if what he said was actually what he said. So she wanted to hear it from her son directly. She said, you left so fast. Like, I wanted to clear up the situation. I don't know what happened. So he says, look, Grandpa said not to bring her around here anymore, that I should be with a nice Korean girl. Studying abroad has tainted my mind, and that you feel the same way that he does, and next time I come home not to bring her. So I left because I didn't know what you were saying to her in the other room. So after hearing all that, Jasmine decides to speak up and she says, thank you for trying to accept me. And then the mom's like, omo, like she didn't know that she was on speaker. She didn't know that she could hear her. You know how you can tell in someone's tone when they've been crying? So the mom picked it up and she's like, 아이고, 괜찮아요. Like, it's gonna be okay. I'm so sorry. 힘내세요. Then the mom said, don't worry, I'll talk to your grandfather. Don't worry about the next time. I'll talk to your grandfather. Don't really know what that meant. Jasmine still doesn't fully understand what she meant by that, but it is what it is. They're still driving way back up to Seoul. So he said that he doesn't want to put Jasmine in that situation. He's telling his mom this. I don't want to put Jasmine in that situation again. I didn't expect you guys to behave like this. I thought you taught me to be loving and accepting of people. She spent time in New York, and that's why she wanted him to study abroad too, because it gives you a more broad sense of the world. So he really thought his family were those type of people that would embrace her. He's completely caught off guard and embarrassed and ashamed. So he's ready to get off the phone with the mom now, because she's like, oh, like talk to your grandfather one more time. Let's clear this up. Let's fix the situation. And he said, the next time you want to see me, come up to Seoul, because I'm not going back to the house. I'm not going home, and I'm not bringing Jasmine there. And of course, you know, Jasmine, she's sitting there crying, but she feels a lot better because she's like, wow, my man really got my back. But also she feels bad because she feels like she's causing a rift in the family, which is really not her fault at all.
It's not your fault. Don't do this to me, man. Not you, man. It's not your fault. Screw you. Cut it out, man. It's not your fault. Oh, why is it so hard? I didn't know it was gonna be so hard.
Like, bro, they're just in love. Why can't it just be that simple? So fast forward about a week to Chuseok, and like her boyfriend said, he's a man of his word, and he did not go home for Chuseok. And for the first time in a long time, well, when he was studying abroad, he didn't go home either. But this is the first time that he's been in Korea on Korean soil, and he did not make his way home to see his family for Chuseok. Instead, they spent it together. They had a little gathering with their friends, and you know, Chuseok is a nice few days where you can enjoy no work and no school. So they had a nice time together. That being said, the mom did call a few times during Chuseok, and you know, the son, he had a, you know, some small talk with his mom, like, yeah, we're eating well, we're eating good, it's fine, happy Chuseok, you know, things like that. And she asked if she could speak to Jasmine, and he was adamant. He was like, you're not speaking to her, no, like, all this is still fresh. The monkey comment, don't bring her in my home, that just happened last week. So they want to have some good time, make some happy memories, and try to bury that and erase that. But Jasmine's like, you know what, I think I should talk to her. And the reasoning makes me upset. You know, it's not Jasmine, but the situation. She wanted to talk to the mom because she wanted to apologize to the mom for causing conflict, which I'm like, girl, imagine you're being the one discriminated against and you feel it necessary to apologize. She's just that nice, because she's better than me. I would have respectfully kept my distance until they were ready to apologize to me. And if that never happens, it never happens, you know? But I'm not gonna apologize for being mistreated and experiencing racism.
That's weird.
So he hands the phone to Jasmine, and she says, first of all, you know, I really just want to apologize. I never meant for any of this to happen. I just wanted to meet you because I love your son. And the mom is like, with time, this will be easier. Like, that's one of the things she just kept saying. With time, this will be easier to accept. With time, we'll all be able to understand, whatever that means. So then she says, going forward, don't worry about the grandfather. I'll talk to him. And she keeps saying that too. At this point, he's towards the end of his life, so he shouldn't be a problem too much longer. As morbid as that sounds, it's facts. She's like, you know, I can wait this out. The brother is accepting, the mom is borderline. Only the grandfather is like absolutely hateful. She has no idea what the rest of his family is like, the cousins and uncles and extended family, but this is the immediate one, so this is the one she's more concerned with. So they ended the phone call pretty amicably, but then she said, hey, can you hand the phone back to my son? And the son says, no, I don't really feel like talking right now. We're busy. We're in the middle of doing something. So before she gets off the phone, she's like, okay, can you just ask him something for me? I wanted to know if he would be okay if me and his brother came up to Seoul just to briefly visit you guys during Chuseok. Because again, it's a few days. They still wanted to see him. He said he wasn't going to go back to Jeollanam. So they said, fine, if we come to Seoul, will you agree to meet us? And again, he's not about it. He's like, I don't want to see y'all right now. Like, this was a lot. This went really bad. And Jasmine is the one who talks him into it and thinks it's a good idea, because even if the grandfather doesn't like her, she at least wants to show that she's making an effort to get to know his mom. The little brother, he's fine. Like, it's whatever to him. So the mom says, okay, great. Don't worry about cooking. We'll make the food, we'll bring it over, and we'll have a nice meal. Fast forward another day or so, and the boyfriend asks the mom, hey, do you want me to pick you up from the train station, or are you gonna come like straight to my apartment? And they say, yeah, we'll just go straight to your apartment. So he's like, all right, cool. So ding dong, they're here, they're at the apartment, yay, time for food and Chuseok family fun. He goes to the door, he opens the door, he sees his little brother, he sees his mom, and he sees his grandfather.
What more do you want from me?
Now, when the mom asked to come over, she did not mention that she was bringing her daddy with her too. So he's not having this. He steps outside. Jasmine's like in the apartment, like, why did he leave? So they're talking outside in the hallway, and she goes closer to the door. Listen, he says, you're not coming in my house. You're not welcome here because she's here. And you said you didn't want to see her. You said if I go home not to bring her, so why would you come here knowing she's here? So then his mom jumps in and says he wants to show that he's regretful about the situation. And then the boyfriend is like, why can't he speak for himself? Like, why are you speaking up for him? Like, you're trying to be the mediator. Let him speak for himself. So at this point, Jasmine walks into the hallway, and they all go quiet. They go silent. They just... Then she calmly just says to the grandfather, why do you hate me so much? And the grandfather says, I don't hate you. That is all he said. He said, I don't hate you. And he got quiet again. So then the boyfriend said, why would I let you in here when my girlfriend's here? So then the grandfather just said, Kanda. He just said, I'm leaving. Fine, I'll leave. And he left. He walked away. So then the little brother is just sitting there like looking at the adults argue over what seems like nothing to him. And the mom is worried about her dad. She's like, I can't let him go off by himself. So she hands the son the food and everything. And the little brother is like, yo, I'm just hungry. Can we eat? He's like, no, you should probably go with them. Look after them. And they had like a cute little playful goodbye moment. Like, you could tell he had a really good relationship with his little brother. So yeah, they all walk off as quick as they came. They all leave. And now they just have all these food and side dishes, and they're just like, okay. So they take it inside, and that was it. She said there hasn't been much communication with them since then, and this was 2018. 2019, they were not planning to go, but she did say that COVID kind of helped out their situation a little bit because people were required to keep distance and not advised to travel much, so they were able to use COVID as like a good excuse to not have to travel all the way down to Jeollanam or have them come up to Seoul. And especially since the grandfather is pretty old and weak in age, you know, they didn't want to risk it, so they said, you know what, sorry, we would, but COVID. She said with the exception of like the occasional hello in the background of phone calls, she hasn't really seen them or talked to them. But she did say later this year she is considering trying again with Chuseok, because now at this point it's been years since that happened and they're still together, they're engaged. So she's like, I do want to try and have a relationship with your mom because I am her daughter-in-law, or I will be her daughter-in-law. The grandfather, whatever, he'll be gone soon. That's the way that it is, what it is. They haven't been back to Chuseok, even though the mom does keep inviting them, and she is hopeful about that because at least she's still trying to make an effort. Like, well, the mom keeps inviting me. It's not like she's not talking about her, bringing her up, or caring if she comes or not. Like, she's still getting an invite, so that meant something to her. But yeah, that is the story. That is everything up to date right now. I hope it was worth the wait. Again, I'm so sorry that I abruptly ended part 1, but I was so tired, I was out of it. Thanks for watching. If you did, remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Annyeong.